What's up, Laker fans? Welcome into today's show. I'm your host, as always, Jimmy Crowther, breaking down all the latest happenings with your Los Angeles Lakers. And although it's a little bit quiet, we're going to get into some draft night stuff here in a second. But before we get there, I want to make sure that you subscribe to the Lakers Report, because if you haven't already, you're missing out, and it's a really important thing to do because the offseason's coming up and things are about to get wild for the Los Angeles Lakers. So I need you to do two things. Number one, I need you to subscribe because we're getting closer and closer to 25,000 subscribers. But the second thing, if you're a newer subscriber or if you're an old subscriber and you haven't turned on notifications, you're missing out. So go ahead and hit that notification bell. You can see it right here. It looks just like this. Just click on that so you can make sure you don't miss a single video here on the Lakers Report. That's youtube.com/LakersTV. Now let's get into some of that draft night stuff and what happened. And they did sign a guy who went undrafted in Zavier Simpson, an undrafted free agent out of the University of Michigan. Now, in his senior year at Michigan, he ranked third in the nation in total assists as he finished the year with 236. Now, his offensive game is a funny one because he's only 6 feet tall, but his go-to shot is the running hook shot. Yes, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar running hook shot from a 6-foot point guard, which worked okay in college, but probably not going to work at the NBA level. So let's break down what he looked like his 4 years at Michigan. Like freshman year, he didn't play a lot, but he earned playing time in his sophomore season, puts up 7 points per game, was a pretty good creator at 4 assists per game, but still, that jump shot wasn't there. Again, junior year took a little bit of a step up in his jump shot, but the assist is really what jumps off to you there. And then his senior year, he creates well, he scores decently well, but he also shoots the ball more efficiently than he ever had at 36%. So not great numbers, but this is a guy who is a smart player and he can create well for his teammates, so maybe he can stick around in the G League. Now, another important note here is that Zavier Simpson is only one of 3 guards under contract for the Lakers right now. Of course, they traded for Dennis Schroder. They have him under contract. They have Alex Caruso. We all know that, the Caruso. And now Zavier Simpson. So if they don't go out and sign somebody, or maybe if you want to consider Talen Horton-Tucker a guard, but if they don't go out and get another guy, Zavier Simpson might be at the very back end of the rotation or could earn himself a 2-way contract with the Lakers. So we didn't see the Lakers get a pick in the second round or even in the first round, but they were looking to apparently trade into the second round. Did you want them to make a move into the NBA draft? Let me know. Type Y for yes, type N for no. There's a lot of good talent available in the second round. There's still a lot of undrafted talent available. A guy like Yoli Childs is a guy I would look at if I'm the Los Angeles Lakers. But did you want them to trade in? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Now, you're probably like, Jimmy, why was Quinn Cook not on your guard list? Well, he actually just got waived by the Los Angeles Lakers, and he will be not be getting paid by the Los Angeles Lakers, as his $3 million contract is now down to just $1 million. He receives the $1 million, but he is no longer going to be with the Lakers. And it kind of makes sense because at the end of the day, he didn't really contribute in the way that a lot of people thought he would, that I thought he would. I thought he'd come in and at least give you a solid 39, 40% from 3. That didn't even happen. When he did play, he didn't shoot the ball all that well at just 36%. And if you can't shoot better than 40% and you're not playing more than 15 minutes a game, you're not going to get a lot of minutes on a championship level team. So now we see maybe it makes a little more sense why the Lakers forgot him in the bubble. But Quinn Cook, no longer a member of the Los Angeles Lakers. Maybe he comes back on a minimum, but I highly, highly doubt it. Now, he's not getting paid, but one way that you can make your money is by getting a great deal at chatsports.com/Lakers mask. You can get championship gear, or you can get generic Lakers mask, whatever you want, whatever color, whatever theme you want. That's chatsports.com/Lakers mask. Go pick yours up today for up to 25% off. Packs of 1, 2, 3, or 4. They're hooking you up with our friends over at Fanatics, keeping you safe, keeping you healthy, and trying to make sure we get back into the Staples Center, or I guess you get back into the Staples Center sooner rather than later. Let's talk about a Laker that's actually coming back, and it's confirmed. JaVale McGee is going to be back with the Los Angeles Lakers as he's opted into his $4 million player option after starting all 68 games last offseason. Now, this doesn't really come as a surprise, but it's something we've talked about on this channel, as JaVale did sell or look to sell his house in Los Angeles, but it looks like he will be back, and he's probably going to be the starting center for the Los Angeles Lakers once again. Look, this is a good move for the Lakers. This is a good move for McGee, as he is now able to come back and really be that rim protector and that lob threat that they need him to be. Now, We saw his role kind of diminish a little bit in the playoffs because big men don't get as many minutes, but that didn't really deter him from picking up that option. I don't think he would have gotten more than $4 million on the open market, and even if he did, I don't think he'd play for as good of a team as Los Angeles Lakers. As of right now, there's not a team as good as the Los Angeles Lakers. But you look at what he did in the time that he got, which was, again, starting all 68 games that he played in. He put up 7 points, pulled down those 6 rebounds. You guys know what JaVale McGee does. You don't even need to see these stats to know how impactful he is, because not everything he does shows up in the box score either. The way he defends the rim and deters people from driving on him. I love McGee. I'm glad that he's back with the Lakers. I think they are going to be happy about that. But they have another big man who is a free agent in Dwight Howard. He didn't have a player option. He just chose not to play. Who would you rather see start? Type DH for Dwight Howard. Type JM for JaVale McGee. I think Dwight proved himself maybe a little bit more valuable, but it was more off the bench. But Dwight also said, as I believe my friend Harrison Graham reported, that Dwight Howard's looking to get paid, and the Lakers are not going to be able to pay him maybe the way he wants to be paid. But if he takes the mid-level or even the minimum, he just might. So let me know who you guys want to start next year, DH or JM. Let's talk about a guard, Dennis Schroder, that you guys are obviously very, very familiar with. He's going to be here officially. Now, I'm only talking about this because the transaction did become official between the Lakers and the Thunder, and he's going to come in and honestly be the Lakers' third best scorer. Now, I also kind of wanted to talk about this because you look at who the Lakers ended up giving up with that 28th pick in Jaden McDaniels. So they traded away Danny Green, who's now with the 76ers, and they traded away Jaden McDaniels, who actually got traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves in a later deal. So the Lakers could have had a guy who I believe was really underrated coming out of college in Washington, Jaden McDaniels, but the combo of Danny Green and McDaniels does not equal up to what Dennis Schroder did last year for the Oklahoma City Thunder, being the guy that I think should have won Sixth Man of the Year, putting up 19 points per game and 4 boards. Also, one of his best years from 3 at 38.5%. He comes in on night 1, probably going to be in the starting lineup, barring any kind of crazy moves the Lakers might make. And you look at, considering who's under contract right now, your starting backcourt is probably some combo of Dennis Schroder and Alex Caruso. Now, they could obviously make some moves. They could obviously sign some players. KCP could be coming back and take that Caruso spot away. But right now, it's Schroder, LeBron, JaVale now that he's opted in, and Anthony Davis, because he's obviously going to re-sign, so I didn't even consider him a possibility not to be in the starting 5. I like what the Lakers got going. I think they need to upgrade at that 2, and I think they have a chance to do it by potentially bringing back KCP. But I want you guys to predict the starting 5 in the comment section. If you watched this far in the video already, that already means you're a true Laker fan for life. So prove it by showing me that you know the Lakers well enough to predict the starting 5. Do that in the comment section below. Point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center. Who you got? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about a guy that maybe, possibly, potentially, hypothetically, the Lakers could be targeting in George Hill. There's a rumor going around right now that since he's been traded to the Pelicans, he could be on the move, and the Lakers are one of the teams that are interested in the veteran point guard / shooting guard, I guess, whatever you want to call him. Now, recently, again, Hill was traded to the New Orleans Pelicans in that Drew Holiday deal, and my only question here is not the fit, it's not the player, it's not his abilities. It's, would the Pelicans really be willing to trade, or should I say get fleeced by the Los Angeles Lakers in another trade? I'm not so sure. Now, just to kind of break down how George Hill ended up on the Pelicans again, Drew Holiday in the 60th overall pick in the draft, which was Sam Merrill, a really good shooter, goes number 60 to the Milwaukee Bucks in exchange for Eric Bledsoe, who I don't think will play many games in a Pelicans uniform, George Hill, who I don't think will play many games in a Pelicans uniform, and then RJ Hampton, who didn't play any games in a Pelicans uniform, got sent to the Denver Nuggets as a part of that pick. They also got a ton of pick swaps and a ton of first-round picks in the future. But if Hill could get to the Lakers, you look at his points per game, you look at his assists and his rebounds, you're like, okay, this isn't really San Antonio Spurs George Hill. Why would they trade for him? That three-point percentage is his bread and butter at 46%. He shot the lights out of the gym last year, and he was one of the best three-point shooters in the league. And if the Lakers could add that coming off the bench, whether it be at the point guard role or the shooting guard role, they're going to get a very valuable player in George Hill. This is a guy you make a deal for, whether it's giving up a younger guy like a Talen Horton-Tucker. I wouldn't give up Kyle Kuzma for George Hill, but a future pick, if they have one to offer, go ahead and do it. So, not a major name on the market, and I don't think the Lakers have the pieces to go out and get a major name on the market. So, go ahead and name one player and be kind of realistic with me that you want the Lakers to trade for. And whenever it happens, we're going to have it broken down for you here on the Lakers Report. So, make sure you subscribe at youtube.com/LakersTV. Make sure you turn on those notifications by hitting that little notification bell. If you have any other Lakers questions, go give me a follow on Twitter at Jimmy_Crowther.